Part of me always thought, how could I let this happen to me? I was educated. I had a professional degree. I was a physician. I was working. How could this happen to me? Abuse just happens to uneducated people who live in villages, who don't have jobs, who don't have self-esteem, right? No. It happens to you and you realize nothing else even matters. You're vulnerable when you're in a situation that's toxic. It can happen to anybody. I was married for about 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years. I wouldn't say it was not abusive for the first 6 months at least, but maybe verbally, yes. But then you think, this is what a normal marriage is supposed to be. Abuse doesn't even come into your head like that. You don't get that notion that you're getting abused. He was my world. You want to do everything to make this person happy. He would say, no, you're doing this wrong or that's wrong. If you would have done that, then this wouldn't have happened. If you would have done this right, then I wouldn't have gotten mad. If you hadn't reacted that way, I wouldn't have had to put my hands on you. You did something. That's why I got mad. I got mad and I couldn't control it. And then I put my hands on you. And then it becomes this cycle where he sits down and cries, I made a mistake, I shouldn't be doing this. A cycle that repeats itself. Abuse is about control. First they're controlling a little, then a little more, and a little more. It keeps escalating to a point where it gets really, really bad. Then there came a time when there was no phone, no internet. He used to say, these are luxuries. He would say, I'm putting food on your plate. You better be thankful. The clothes you're wearing are from my money. About leaving. It was just a matter of a few days because things were escalating at my home and I knew at any moment there was going to be an explosion. So I just needed to get out. My parents were not around here, so they couldn't help me. So I went to the Gurdwara and I ended up asking the Paisa, if someone needs to stay, are you able to help? Like if someone needs to stay the night? He said that was difficult. Even if it was very serious, is there any way? I asked. He responded, we don't allow anyone to stay more than one night. And it's for men only. Women can't stay. Eventually, I told one of my friends. She found a domestic violence organization that might be able to help. Actually, when I called, I really wasn't expecting any help because I felt so helpless and hopeless. I didn't think anything was going to work out. When they actually said that they would be able to help me, I was shocked. It was possible to get out safely. For the first month after I left, I wasn't leaving my apartment. The fear was so strong. The fear that if you go out, you don't know what's going to happen to you. Also, my restraining order request fell through. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I was all alone. My fear became that if something did happen to me, then nobody was going to find out. And that was hard. I wouldn't even go get milk if I ran out of milk. I wouldn't go out in broad daylight. It was a weird kind of fear. First of all, to anyone listening, they need to be aware of what abuse is. Second of all, most importantly, there needs to be acceptance that abuse happens. It can happen to anyone, anywhere. It happens in other communities as well. Courage isn't refusing and saying this doesn't happen. Courage is accepting that we have something that's rotten and disgusting. and we have to fix it. So let's just accept the problem and let's just start working on it. Even a change in mindset, that when you see something happening to your neighbor, for example, be vigilant. Don't be the person who's judgmental or the person that's trying to stay out of it. Be the person who can help, because someone's in a very fragile state at that moment. I just want other women and girls to know, you can do this. It's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard. But it's much better than the life that you're living. If you're being abused, you think that it's not a healthy relationship, pay attention to the signs and get help. You have one life to live, and it's worth living.